documenting the boat is also a really important step towards marketing the vessel. So when it comes to specifications, the more detail we have, the better, because this helps allow people to invest, mentally in the boat, as we noted there. How do you get all of that detail across? Because again, you're not doing yourself a service if the inventory is lacking in detail or lacking in features of the boat. This usually is a great thing for the boat owner to do, because they probably know the boat better than anyone. A broker can jump in there and have a good go at it, but it is a good thing for a boat owner to do themselves. And key things such as, draft, beam, length, all those basic things, even air draft, the height of the rig, fuel capacity, water capacity. We've mentioned engine hours there as well. Really important to get as much of those items down. And just a little tip, if something's not working on the boat and you're not going to plan to get it fixed, better off just not putting it on the inventory. It's going to cause problems later on. We can always mention that, hey, there's a water maker here that's not working anymore, or there's a life raft that's out of service, when they see the boat. But we'll point out, it's not working, it's not on the inventory, and so it doesn't cause grief later on. Also, really highlight optional extras that have been added to the boat in recent times, in the last year or so, and highlight when they were added. So, if a new trampoline was added to the boat, if there were, if the engines were serviced, which is an important one if the engine hours are quite high, to show that there's been a good service history, at least in recent times. And a rig report doesn't hurt if the rig is around the 10-year mark. It's a common requirement by the insurance companies that boats that are around the 10 years or older that haven't got a new rig installed, that they'll need a rig report to get the insurance. So you're better off considering doing that up front if you don't choose to replace the rig in the first place. That is a common problem that comes up with an older rig, and it can be an objection when it comes time to negotiating. So consider that, because essentially what we are trying to do up front is maybe handle any sales objections that pop up that prevent the sale going any further. If the boat is in need of an anti-foul desperately to make it presentable, it's probably worth doing up front. And when it's out of the water, it's not a bad idea to consider getting a marine surveyor's report up front that we can pass on to potential buyers, so they don't have to go through the rigmarole of hauling the boat out and doing a survey. They may wish to, but if it's an independent report, it usually saves the convenience of the hassle of doing that, and gives them the convenience of having it right there, so they can make an easier decision early on in the piece. Steve, do you have any other comments to add on inventory?
Yeah, I do. Look, one thing that I've over the years found really important is that all the manuals, the documents, the any wiring diagrams, plans, anything is all compiled neatly and tidily, and it's on the boat. It's not in somebody's garage or in their study. So when we present the boat, we can say, here are the documents, and you've got them all easy to look at. The other thing is, when we're talking about service, anything that is such as engine service, any file with receipts in them is really, really important. I'm sure most of our customers believe us, and we believe our vendors. However, if if you're buying a car that's 4 years old, you'd like to look at the service book, and it's a very important part of the history of the car, and it's an important part of the history of the boat. Yeah.
No, it's a really good point, and particularly if the boat's been through various locations as well. For some of our international sellers.